The college basketball experience portal madness recap of the transfer portal closing edition on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our sign-up code, promo code that is TCESGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience transfer portal recap. The portal is finally closed 30 days. It opened after the first weekend of March Madness. It closed last night, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Unless you're in the Central time zone, then it was 11:59 Central. If you're in Mountain, then it was 11:59 there, and so forth with the Pacific time zone. It sums up the portal. Depends on what time zone you're in. So the transfer portal rules have all their own. Make it up as we go along, baby. But plenty of content, plenty to get into. We'll recap kind of some of the big winners, some of the big losers, who's still on the board, much more. But first off, I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. And yes, I am ecstatic that the portal is now closed. So let me get into it because, like I said, closed last night, 11:59 Eastern. Lot of big names hit the portal yesterday, or a lot hit it this week. Guys going through the NBA draft process, guys transferring in league, guys transferring to rivals. I think the big storyline coming out of this portal is some of the bigger spenders and who has the funds for they're saying what, $10 to $12 million roster. I know Kentucky's is rumored to be around 20. The teams that have really separated themselves, in my opinion, of unlimited funds and pretty much buying a juggernaut team, or at least from a payroll standpoint, Kentucky, BYU, Michigan is up there, Texas Tech is up there, Louisville is up there. Duke has funds as well. Carolina has funds. But yeah, it was definitely a unique time in this portal. And just, I mean, Kentucky's roster being $20 million rumored is wild to think about. But obviously they're going through the court system right now, and we got guys in the portal that don't even have eligibility left, so they got to sort out that. They got to go through the NBA draft process. So let's take a look at the big board currently. Best names that are probably still out there. The big name, he's from Memphis, and that was PJ Haggerty. He went in earlier this week to guard. I know he's going to go through the draft process as well. So Haggerty is still on the board. RJ Lewis is still on the board, the Big East Player of the Year. Darian Williams from Texas Tech, the four-man skilled. He can score. He can facilitate. High basketball IQ. A big one yesterday was Boogie Fland from Arkansas, scoring guard going in the portal. The Chad Baker Mazzara one is a bizarre one, to say the least. Rumored that he signed a agreement with Auburn, and the rumor is Boogie Fland also signed an agreement with Arkansas. So that's another element that we, I guess, are figuring it out as we go about this. Is you got guys that signed agreements and then they jump to another school. That should, I mean, they should, in my opinion, they should have to pay back that school and pay back any NIL money and pay a fee. they should have to pay a buyout like a coach. If you sign an agreement, you should have to abide by that agreement. But we're in the wild, wild west. So we'll see what else happens. Stojakovic's kid is also in the portal from Cal. He actually started at Stanford in his career. So he's in the portal as well. Illinois seems to be the rumor there. Jameer Watkins, talented guard wing from Florida State who could really score the ball. Darren Reed as well. And then Desmond Cloudet from USC, also in the portal. He went there last night. He started his career at Xavier. So another guy that interested to see where he goes. And then rounding it out, Cedric Coward from Wazoo. He started his career, if you remember, at Eastern Washington with David Riley. So we'll see where these guys go. We got also guys that like Yaxel Lendenberg that are committed to a school, but they're going through the NBA draft process. So that's another whole dynamic. But let's talk about some teams. Let's talk about some winners on the other side. But first, I got to talk to you about, well, the NFL draft is tomorrow night, live party, and I'll be on there for the Redskins pick. We picked 29th this year because we had a hell of a year. So get on over there and check out the NFL content tomorrow night over at SGPN. Tune in Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/the Sports Gambling Podcast. That is the youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. We are also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions can be approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for betting deposits. Sign up with edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's deposit 25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. And make sure to let them know SGPN sent you. That is edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is the place to be for the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, NFL draft. And once we get to college football, college hoop season, DGen's all over there. Get on over there. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. That is, head over to mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and apply. Conditions, that's mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. Okay, let's talk biggest winner teams. This website that I'm using is not doing a good job for me here. I would say the biggest winner is going to be, well, I personally, I think it might be St. John's. And I here's why I really like St. John's. Yes, they added Bryce Hopkins and I know he's coming off an injury. I know that it didn't end well at Providence, but I'm a big fan of his game. He started his career at Kentucky. When he was healthy, they were as good as anybody. So I think that he slides right in at the 4 spot. He teams up with Zuby, Ejiofor there at the 5. He was dominant last year. And then what else I also like, and they added this piece today, was adding Dylan Mitchell from Cincinnati, started his career at Texas. Talented wing. He can play he's probably a 4, so it gives him an insurance policy for for Bryce Hopkins. So, but I also think if they want to play big, I think they can play Mitchell at the 3, Hopkins at the 4, and then I like their backcourt. Jazon Sannon from Arizona State, freshman at Arizona State that made shots at a high clip, 40%, and then Sellers from Stanford is a guy that shot around 40% last year from 3. So you could see Patino. They bowed out early in the second round last year because they couldn't make shots at a high clip. Well, what'd they do? They went and got those 2 guys, and then they cherry on top, bringing Ian Jackson home from North Carolina. He's a Bronx kid. Sounds like he's going to play the point guard position. 6'4", good size, so he'll fill that Kadari Richmond role. But he made shots at a higher clip than Kadari. Kadari was more of a mid-range, get it to the rim guy. Jackson can do that, but he can also make shots. He shot 40% in his freshman year at North Carolina. So if you're a St. John's fan, you're liking this potential guard, these 3 guards of Jackson, Sellers, Sanon, and then the versatility that they can add Mitchell and Hopkins in the front court, and then Zuby as well. I mean, Zuby's going to be the horse. just because it's year 2 in Rick Pitino's system. But really looking forward to seeing the Johnnies in year 3 of the Rick Pitino era. Red Rooster, perfect. Another team that won the portal, Kentucky. Kentucky's got a lot of money, is what we found out. To nobody's surprise, they bring in Jalen Lowe from Pitt, the lefty guard that I thought was pretty good. I think that's going to be a big loss for Pitt. Yesterday, SEC crime on or SEC on SEC crime here. Denzel Aberdeen, the role guard for Florida. He was a Florida kid. He took $2 million to go to Kentucky. Oh, I hate this. I mean, hey, man, get your money, I guess, but I'm not the biggest fan of going from rival to rival. Otega Owe, it sounds like, is going to be back. That's going to be huge for them. But they got a bunch of depth as well. I mean, they got Cam Williams from Tulane. He's really good. I think he'll be a good role piece. Again, they obviously will have a good freshman class at Kentucky as always, but I think the front court is really good as well. Mohamed Diabate, he's a guy that you don't have to run plays for. He can make shots. He can defend. He's your glue guy. And then I love the addition of Jaden Quaintance from Arizona State. 5-man that they can run their offense through. I think it's an upgrade from Amari Williams. I think this team is more talented. Yeah, they probably don't shoot the ball as well as they did last year. Like St. John's upgraded their shooting. I think Kentucky upgraded their ceiling from an athleticism standpoint, from a dog standpoint. I think they're going to be better defensively next year. So Kentucky fans, I think you guys should be very ecstatic about the upcoming year. And I think you take a bigger jump here in year 2 of the Mark Pope era. Let's go over to your rival, Louisville. Because, Louisville, if Kentucky's rolling, Louisville's got to match it. They add a trio of guards in the portal. Adrian Woolley, Conference USA freshman. He was really good lefty. I like his game. I like Ryan Conwell from Xavier, who started at Indiana State. And then I like Isaac McNeely as well from Virginia. So you got 3 guards. The freshman Brown is going to be probably the catalyst here, the main horse. But you got 3 veteran guards around him. You got Javon Hadley back. You got Kason Pryor back coming off the injury. Then you got Khalifa, the BYU transfer. So this team, Louisville, Pat Kelson Company, they got money and they've invested in this team. So Kentucky and Louisville should be 2 top 10 teams next year. The rivalry's back, which is going to be great because we know how much these two hate each other. Another team that I thought had a really good portal was BYU. So Mark Pope's former team, they go out and get Rob Wright, arguably the top guard in the portal, top point guard. I thought that Baylor didn't utilize him as much just because they had so many other guards. But you kind of look at it now with this BYU team. They're bringing in first off, the freshman player of the year or number 1 projected pick in AJ DeBonsta. But also Richie Saunders comes back. You got Dawson Baker. Kata's coming back as well. BYU is a top 5 team next year. I know that sounds crazy, but what they were able to do in the portal, and they're not done yet because they have unlimited money, just like Kentucky right now. So Kentucky, BYU, we need that as a national championship. I think that would be great for TV. Mark Pope versus Mark Pope's forward team. But BYU fans, you got to be ecstatic. They're definitely an early portal winner. Another early portal winner was Michigan. Lendenberg, I don't know if he's actually going to play. He's going through the process. UAB, he was super talented. He's a dog. But if not, I mean, they do have Morez Johnson. He's solid. He can play the 4. But they brought over the big fella from UCLA, the big guy, Ade Mara, the 7'2" kid that showed flashes. Now he's going to take on a bigger role here at Michigan. They got to replace Golden, replace Wolf. Elliot Cadeau, I know Bieniek isn't the biggest fan, but I trust Dusty May. I think he knows what he's doing. He's earned the benefit of the doubt from me. I know Cadeau is a strong personality, but maybe a change of scenery here. He thrives here in Michigan's offense. So they add that, and they have a talented class coming in. They got some returners coming back, and Roddy Gale. Michigan top 10, top 15 team once again in year 2 of the Dusty May era. UCLA was a big winner. UCLA went and got the best point guard in the class, Donovan Dent. You pair him now in the backcourt with Sky Clark coming back, Eric Daly coming back, Bellato coming back as well in the front court, and then you bring over Xavier Booker from Sparty. UCLA, Mick Cronin and company. I like the way this team is shaping up. They'll be a top 10 team as well next year and maybe have a chance to go back to the Final Four. Texas Tech had a really good portal class. They went out and got Watts from Wazoo, a talented guard. We'll see. There is a chance that maybe Darian Williams returns there, although it sounds like he's probably not going to return there. They also went out and got Mosley from Villanova. They were able to get Donovan Atwell from UNC Greensboro, and then Tyree Bryan from Santa Clara. So a good class, but most importantly, sometimes the best ones are the ones you keep. They brought back JT Toppin, who's a top 10 player in America. So Texas Tech is a winner this offseason. Another team just scrolling through here that I thought did a really nice job in the portal was, where did they go? I liked what UConn did. UConn fans, I think you guys should be excited. I like bringing over Silas Damari over there from Georgia. I think that's a nice piece. I think he's going to thrive, and I think UConn got bigger in size here, coming off last year where they weren't as talented, but I thought Hurley did a nice job with that team. I thought he's a good piece, 6'5", got good size. Also coming into UConn is Malachi Smith. He's a combo guard, and I think he'll thrive in a new scenery as well. So UConn brings back Solo Ball, Jalen Stewart, Terrace Reed. The big piece we're waiting on is if Caravan comes back. If Caravan comes back, they should be preseason top 5, in my opinion, because they're UConn. So UConn fans, you guys should be excited. You're going to have a good team next year again. Duke, you guys will be good again as well. You get the Boozer twins coming in. Foster's coming back. Evans coming back. Malik Brown's coming back. And then, of course, did I say the Boozers? Yeah, the Boozers are coming in. Cooper Flagg's not coming back. He's going to the draft. He's going to be the number 1 pick. So you guys lost that, but I think he'll be just fine. Iowa State's going to be really good. Auburn's going to be really good. Just scrolling through some of these teams. Florida is an interesting team here now. Florida goes out and gets Xavier Lee from Princeton. I think that they thought that I think they were thrown off that Aberdeen left. I think that kind of was a little bit of a shock in the system. I mean, I was kind of stunned that Aberdeen left for Kentucky, but I mean, honestly, I don't know why I'm surprised. Nothing surprises me in this day and age. So, but I think the Gators, I think Todd Golden and company, they do have some of their core coming back. They have their front core coming back, Condon, Hall, and Chinyelu. So I think that Florida, by default, should be top 15, top 20, but I need to see them go get another guard as well. Just because, I mean, that was the strength and core of their team. So, yeah, work to do for the Florida Gators, the defending national champs. I see GBO Farms in the chat talking about Tennessee. Dude, Tennessee I like the Gillespie. Gillespie's a perfect point guard for Rick Barnes. Defends, runs the show. They got the talented freshman as well coming in, and they got some front court depth coming back as well. So this is Barnes is going to have an interesting team here in Tennessee next year. I think a lot of people by default will be out on them, but Barnes can coach. Barnes will find a way to win 25 games. They'll be a 4 or 5 seed, have a chance to get to a Sweet 16 again. Just because they're tough, they'll defend. And I think their freshmen, and then Gillespie, being a vet, will be able to get them over the hump, and then their depth in the front court. So stay tuned on that one. Creighton had a couple nice pieces. They went out and got the Iowa guys, Josh Dix, Owen Freeman. They'll be a top 25 team. Alabama, Auburn, I already mentioned them. Sparty still got some work to do. But I mean, these are just teams that you, by default, trust the coach. Iowa State, Arizona, Calipari. Calipari's going to have an interesting team. He lost some pieces in the portal, but I mean, they brought back a lot of guys from last year. Knox, Wagner, Brazil, Richmond, and now they go out and get a guy like Pringle in the portal. So Arkansas is an intriguing team next year, in my opinion, just because they actually have a little bit of continuity coming back, which is rare for Calipari. So Arkansas, top 15 team, top 20 team, just like they finished down the stretch there. Illinois is going to be an interesting team just because they got a lot of moving pieces with that roster. They're far from done. Indiana has done a nice little job here. It helps when you can bring over your coach's son in Tucker DeVries. But, following him was the kid Wilkerson from Sam Houston that could score the ball, Miles from North Florida, Reed Bailey from Davidson, Enright from DePaul. So they look like they have a little bit of an identity. They're going to be able to score the ball. DeVries will get the most out of them. Connerway also from Troy as well. Speaking of DeVries and where DeVries came from, my Mountaineers have actually had a nice little portal as well. I think that they've added a bunch of guys that are underrated and kind of not appreciated as much on the national level, but if you follow this sport, you know how good they are. I know Eagle Staff is kind of the big name because of what he did against Alabama and what he did against South Dakota State. But if you watch the NIT tournament, Honor Huff was a dog. And he was extremely fun to watch during that run. And then you also look at the guys that he brought from North Texas, Ross Hodgett is, Jasper Floyd, Brennan Lorient. Those guys were guys that helped him win 27-28 games last year. And then also bringing over the big fella from Wilmington, I think is a nice piece as well. Obiha, I'll get his name right by November. And then Jackson Fields from Troy, Chance Moore from St. Bonaventure. They're not done yet. They still got 3 or 4 spots. So the Mountaineers, I think, could be an NCAA tournament team in year one for Ross Hodge. I think he's a good coach. It's a good fit, and looking forward to that. The Bearcats of Cincinnati, speaking of the Big 12, just popping around here, added a couple interesting pieces. Sincere Harris from West Virginia coming over, Jalen Haynes from Mason. They got the big fella from UCF. That's going to be a big piece here with Mustafa Thame. I think he got $2 million. So they get their rim protector, and then the wild card, Kirk Risa, and Jalen Celestine from Baylor, the 6'6" lefty. Kirk Risa is going to be the X factor, I guess, with Cincinnati in a make or break year for Wes Miller. And so I don't know. That's not exactly the guy I would want as my X factor in a make or break year, but hey, that's what they're rolling with. Shout out to the chat. You guys are alive and well. Sean Miller has done a pretty good job of loading up on some transfers as well. He was able to keep Tremont Mark, Jordan Pope as well. He also brought a couple guys over from Xavier here. Pulling up this Texas portal class. So many goddamn names. Yeah, Dalen Swain coming over with him. Also, Triori coming over from Xavier as well. They got the big foreign kid from FAU, Bacchidis. I can't pronounce his name. Skilled big man, 7 feet. They got Heidi coming over from Purdue. So Texas, I think, will be an NCAA tournament team next year. Year one of Wes Miller. Intrigued to see how this roster finishes out. Iowa. I like Iowa. Where's Rob Donaldson? I like what Iowa's been able to put together with Ben McCullum so far. It helps when you can bring Bennett Sturts over. I will say that. He also brings all his other Drake guys with him. Combs, Manuwawu, Howard, Banks. And then I like the 2 shooters, skill guy, Alvaro Fergaris from Robert Morris was huge in that NCAA tournament run where they won the regular season and postseason in the Horizon. But I love the addition of Brandon Hosson as well from K-State, shot maker that I think will fit right in. So Iowa, Donaldson, buying stock. I think they could flip it and be an NCAA tournament in year number 1 for you Iowa Hawkeye fans. And Miami's had a pretty good class. Washington's had a pretty good class. USC's throwing a bunch of money out there. You know who I have not mentioned? Well, I'm saving the two best teams for last. I have not mentioned the Kansas Jayhawks yet, which is if you're Kansas, I think you're kind of happy. You're bringing Trey White over from Illinois. You're bringing over Melvin Council from St. Bonaventure. You're bringing over Jaden Dawson from Loyola Chicago. So 3 winning programs. I think Kansas flying under the radar is not the worst thing in the world for you Jayhawk fans. You got Jackson coming back. And then you got, that point guard. We talked about how good DeBonce is going to be. Darren Peterson's a real deal for Kansas next year at the guard position. And then Flory came back. So that I think they're going to throw all their money at Darian Williams is what it sounds like. But the Jayhawks are kind of under the radar, which I don't think is a bad thing. Speaking of teams, Ohio State's under the radar. Gonzaga has a bunch coming back. EK came back. Huff came back. Good programs right there. Villanova has not done that well in the portal so far with Willard. Trying to see, am I missing anybody? Oregon quietly doing a pretty good job, able to bring back a bunch of guys. Headline, Biddle's coming back. They got Simpkins and Shellstead at the guard positions. Pryor and Evans in the front court. I think I've hit on Iowa State. They got Lipsy back. They got Momchilovich back. Buchanan in the front court, and then Jefferson. They're going to be tough. They're going to guard. They'll be a really good team next year. And that gets me, I think I hit on pretty much every team that's done a decent job in the portal. That gets me to the two best teams, two best cultures right now in college basketball, in my opinion, Houston and Purdue. And with that said, I got to pay the last sponsor here because we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code and claim your special pick at first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCE SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for AI picks and props. Great for MLB, great for NBA, great for NHL, golf, football, basketball. Once you get to college hoops and more. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off monthly subscription with our promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscription. Promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM. Code SGPN25 or SGPN50. All righty. We are back on the college basketball experience. Checking my phone, make sure nobody else committed. Throw a couple questions in the chat if you guys want as well. I'm trying to get to it. Red Rooster pumped about his Kentucky Wildcats. Frankie Cox, shout out to you, my friend. Your Big Blue Nation's in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play the villain on Kentucky, but they're going to be pretty damn good this year. But when they're laying those big numbers, I'll pick against them. Kevin, talking about DeBonce putting not UMass, the state of Massachusetts on the map. Yes, sir. GBO Farms, Rolex Dad. Let's go Fresno. I got to dive into their portal a little bit here. I'll get to the mid-majors as we go along. There's still so many names in the portal, guys, and you can actually go in the portal if your coach leaves for another job. So that's happened over the last couple of years. Sportman asking any Mountain West takes. A lot of new coaches. So, Utah State's done a good job with Jared Calhoun. But, Richard Pitino left New Mexico. Dutcher will always be good. But these teams get rated in the portal. And now they get their coaches rated because they're so good. So Colorado State, Nico Medved went to Minnesota. He's bringing a bunch of his guys. Ali Farukamach takes over that gig now. The famous Ali from Northern Iowa. So I'll give it a month, and I can dive more into the Mountain West. But the high majors have the priority right now because they have the bigger budgets and bigger NIL packages. So I'll get to my beloved Mountain West and beloved MAC, Horizon, Missouri Valley, and all those good mid-major leagues that I think are really underrated. So, all right, so I teased my top two teams before we went to break. I got Purdue at 2, and I got Houston at 1. The last two runner-ups. And God, I would love to see them both play in the national championship because that would mean one of them would win it. And it would mean Matt Painter would win it all or Kelvin Sampson. Purdue brings back Braden Smith. They paid him, $3.5-4 million, earned every penny of it. Best point guard in college basketball. Fletcher Lawyer is coming back. They got C.J. Cox as well coming back. And then they got Kaufman Wren coming back in the front court. Coming in as well is Oscar Clough from South Dakota State. Double-double guy, big guy that they can play nice 1-2 punch in the front court. They can put it. He's so good around the rim. He's going to be so good playing off of Braden Smith and Kaufman Wren. And then they got the talented freshman Jacobson coming in. They got depth on this team as well. But the main thing, like I said, it's great to go out and buy a point guard, buy players. But if you can keep arguably the best point guard in America by paying him, that's even better because he's played in your system for 3 years. So Purdue ain't going anywhere, guys. As much as I know people hate Purdue and think that they're boring to watch, they're going to be loaded next year. They didn't lose much, man. I mean, they lost Heidi and they lost First and Colvin. Those are good role guys, but they're bringing back all their horses. Went to the Sweet 16 last year, almost beat Houston. And what was supposed to be a rebuilding year after Edey. There'll be a top – if you have them as your top team, I don't blame you, but I'm putting Houston there just because I love what they got coming back. Headlined by Tugler, Sharp, and I think UConn will come back eventually. I know he's going through the NBA draft process right now, but ultimately I do think UConn will come back. They actually did lose a couple guys in the portal for once, but their freshman class is loaded this year with Houston. So I'm pulling up their freshman class right now. The big kid, Chris Sanic, I can't pronounce. I'll pronounce his name right by November. You guys know how I am with names. You got to prove it, and I got to watch you play. I can tell you what your game is, but I can't pronounce your name to save my life. Regardless, their depth on this team, and I know that they're losing Juwan Roberts. I know they're losing L.J. Cryer. I know they're losing Javion Francis, but they're just reloaded, man. This Houston program just continues to build year after year after year. And Kelvin Sampson, he does a good job not losing his top guys. Sharp, a shitty end of the year, but had an unbelievable year. Tugler could be one of the best bigs in all of college basketball next year. And then UConn, I thought he comes back for a second year in that system. I thought he finally found himself midway through or during the Big 12 play, and then I thought he played really well. I know he struggled in the Final Four, but he had all things considered, I thought he had a pretty damn good first year in Houston. And they haven't really used the portal much. Oh, Pop Isaacs is their big name that they're bringing in. So I do have some thoughts on the Pop Isaacs fit, just because Pop Isaacs is such a wild card. But we've seen him excel at Texas Tech when he's got tough guys around him. I think Isaacs is a guy that can make shots at a high clip. I mean, L.J. Cryer wasn't a defender when he got there. Can Isaacs get healthy? That's the big thing. He's coming off that hip injury and season-ending injury at Creighton. 1 year at Creighton, started at Texas Tech. But I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to trust Kelvin Sampson. He's giving me no reason not to trust him. And then this freshman class that they got coming in, Scenic, Harwell, Flemings, Jackson. Houston's my number one team next year because of the combination of what they bring back, and then Kelvin Sampson. They'll be the favorite to win the Big 12 once again next year. So, yeah, that's a little rapid fire, guys. I'll be back later tonight on the College Football Experience with Colby. breaking down the SEC football coaches 1 through 16. We'll rank those, and then we'll be on the NBA draft, the NFL draft tomorrow night. I'll keep throwing out those episodes on the short 5-minute edits on player breakdowns. I got plenty of time. I'll start my coaches series here at the beginning of June, and then Colby and I will start college football previews in about a month here. So we're full speed ahead on the college experience. That's all I got. Go check out all our content, and appreciate you guys rocking with us every single night. Make sure you're subscribed, and that's all I got here on a Wednesday night. This has been another edition of Mac Tonight. There we go. Cheers, everybody. Something's wrong with the music. You better start thinking about yours, and we are out of here.